What's good? I'm Flex. My co-host AK is out of town, living his best life on vacation for the second week in a row. I ain't mad though. Still got the gang in the building. Shout out Ma, shout out Alex. Got a special guest in the building. Before I introduce her, I want to remind you this episode is sponsored by Perfect Office Solution. They provide affordable, professional, and flexible office spaces for entrepreneurs in the DMV area. So hit them up, let them know we sent you. SITM Podcast is the promo. You get 10% off your lease. Shout out to everybody who's taking advantage of that. Hope you enjoy the space. And shout out to Chico for, doing something dope in the DMV area. If you are listening or watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and keep it locked. We got a couch talk popping as well. Hit us up on email, sitmpodcast237@gmail.com. We want to send questions so we can, take a deep dive in it. Got a special guest in the building. Like I said, I'm excited for this, man. This is something I've been looking forward to. We've had her on the calendar for a minute.
Yeah.
She's special, and she's a personal brand stylist, content creator, and blogger. You might have heard her or know her from Sophisticated Chic, Bran.
I'm glad you said it right.
Please. Yes. So welcome, Christen Johnson.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah,
welcome. Clap for myself. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. I want to start like this. When you hear the quote "dress the part," what comes to your mind?
That's a hard question. I'm a suit kind of girl.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, when they think of suit, they think of stuffy, black, whatever. I love a suit that can really show some personality, like bright red, pinks. That's me, all the way. I love color. So just dressing to impress, dressing in a way that represents who you are and not in a way that represents who people think you are or who people put you in, I guess, a basket to be. But yeah, just representing yourself and really being who you are through what you wear. So that's what I'm all about.
The reason why I asked that, because, you're a personal brand stylist. I want to make the distinction off from the jump between a stylist and a fashion, and style and fashion.
Yeah. So personal styling is a little different from fashion styling. As a personal stylist, I work with people one-on-one, degular people, lifestyle, everyday people, which a lot of people forget about. They forget about those people they see on the train or at work or walking to work. So those are the people that I dress. Women who are always speaking in front of different people, women who are giving back to their community, women who are in their community, influential women who are making a difference. Those are the women that I dress. But then, of course, fashion styling is more so on, I guess, the creative realm. And I'm still a creative, but more so on a corporate level, professional level. But fashion styling, I would say, is more so creative, editorial, magazines, fashion shows, things like that. So that's how I distinguish the two.
And you can put together too.
Yeah, thank you. I try. I'm still learning.
When you check her catalog out, man, it's like, you can put together. But for those who don't know, who is Christen Johnson?
I'm still trying to figure it out. But I am a fashion creative, and who am I? Somebody. I'm a woman. I'm a woman, a growing woman who.
She's discovering herself right here.
I really did. Still trying to figure out who I am exactly. I know what I want to represent. I know what I want to bring to the table. But figuring out, I guess, those people who will accept me for who I am. Those people who will accept my business and really understand what I do. I'm very passionate about helping women look their best, and also feel their best, because sometimes women can look good, but deep down inside they're ready to give up. So I'm just really out here really trying to help people. I wouldn't say I'm a people person because
it's kind of hard, in the field, in the business that you're in.
It's very hard. I kind of have to force myself to talk to people. I'm very like an introvert. I'm very to myself. I think I can do everything on my own. I don't ask for help. So me being a business owner, the founder of a business, I kind of have to push myself to be a people person, and to talk to people. But I low-key enjoy it every once in a while. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm a woman of my word. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. It may take me a while, but I'm gonna do it. And I'm a hard worker. I'm all about entrepreneurship. So everything as far as like people quitting their jobs, I'm all for it. But I'm also all for you, quitting your job and still working towards something. You can't just sit around and expect things to come to you. So I guess that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, we gonna get into that. So as far as your story and the job quit and everything, it's a dope story. I want to get to know more about it. But you got this thing popping, Sophisticated Chic Brand LLC. When did that jump off for you?
So I've been doing styling for about 6 years. Didn't realize I wanted to help women until 2018, last year. I got my LLC in September of 2017. So I guess you can say I've only really been in business for about 3 years now. But
dope.
I've
That's dope.
always been into fashion, I've loved putting looks together as far as for myself. I never thought I could ever do it for anyone else. When I was in school, I studied business management and entrepreneurship.
What school was this?
North Carolina A&T
Shout
in
out.
Greensboro, HBCU life.
Shout out.
So I love that school. It's expensive, still paying back the loans, but that's a whole nother podcast episode.
Facts.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much who I am, where I came from. I did not study styling. Styling is just something that came natural for me. And I'm still learning, still trying to figure things out.
When did you know what I'm saying, like, you had that passion for? You said it came natural. When was that? Something that you wanted to do.
Elementary school.
Ooh.
I
What did you study
In high school, I
in
studied.
college?
Oh, I'm sorry, college. Yes, business management and entrepreneurship.
I guess you're still using that still.
Yeah, and I'm thankful that I decided to study that. It kind of taught me about the LLCs and marketing and things like that. Even though half that stuff I cannot even remember right now, so it kind of sucks. But now that I'm in my own business, it pushes me to do more research and kind of refresh my memory about some of the things that I did learn in school. But yeah, I've always been into fashion, always loved putting looks together since elementary school. I know up until a certain age, my mother would pick out my clothes and I'll be like, why did she pick this out? Like, I do not want to wear this. Like, what? And then I think when I think I was in the third grade. So how old were we in third grade?
I don't even
7?
know. I'm from Cameroon. It's different.
I can't think straight. But when I was in third grade, she's like, okay, I'll let you pick out your clothes. I'm like, oh my God. So I literally will wear like the same outfits every week because those are my favorite outfits. I only like some of my clothes, not all of them, because my mother was shopping for me. So yeah, ever since I was younger, I've always been into fashion. Never thought I would actually bring it into or turn it into an actual business.
Something you can secure the bag on.
Yeah, and a lot of people say like, how are you making money styling? Like, how are you doing it?
How are you doing it?
I'm still figuring it out, but just, coming up with systems, strategies, procedures, a process. I actually just concealed a really good process for my business earlier this week or maybe last week.
Wow.
A step-by-step, 4-step process. Every step, people are paying me money. Every step. Because there were some steps, like a consultation I used to do for free. I used to do 30-minute consultations for free.
That's
over the
wild.
phone.
That's insane.
Wasting time. I mean, of course, I was connecting with people, but I wasn't getting paid. So wasting time with people that weren't even my ideal client. People who I thought I would move forward with, who would allow me to style them, and I'd follow up 4 or 5 times, never hear back from them. So a waste of time. So I added strategies, put systems in place, and currently they're working. But I know as a small business owner, you have to you're constantly updating your processes. So it may change, but as of now, this is working for me. But like I said, I had other stylists tell me you're not going to make money in styling. It's only so much money you can make. Nah, I'm making money.
Look at she on stuck in the middle. Hey, y'all can, what I'm saying?
No, I'm making
take
this
that.
work. I'm making this work.
I love it. Who then is the ideal sophisticated chic brands, client? What services do you offer and what problem are you seeking to solve?
Yes. So first question, who is my ideal client? So influential women in business who are constantly making an impact in their communities.
Why only women? Oh, we need to put together too, you know what I'm saying?
I like guys. I actually used to work for Trunk Club. It's a styling service that started as for men and then transitioned into both men and women. I learned that, guys are easy and I like a challenge. So I feel like y'all could figure it out on your own. Y'all got the money, but I would prefer to help a woman, and I love guys. I can definitely style guys, but I would prefer to help women because they think they know everything and they don't. We think we know everything and we don't, and I could teach y'all a few things. So that's
I like that confidence.
Yeah, and I'm working on that too. Thank God, I'm working on that. But influential women in business who are constantly making an impact in their communities through their voice, philanthropy, and hard work. So women who give back to their communities, women who are in their communities actually working, that they care about who they work for, they care about what they're doing, and they have a passion for whatever they're doing as well. So like-minded to me. And it was 2 other questions. What services do you offer?
Yeah.
So I offer a variety of services, virtual styling, in-home shopping sessions. I'm all about accommodating these women because I know these women don't have a lot of time. The problem is lack of time and lack of confidence. So they don't have a lot of time. So I do make my services very accommodable, if that's even a word. And as far as confidence goes, I push them out of their comfort zones. I really talk to them, figure out where the root of the problem lies. And I build relationships with these women because these women want to confide in someone and also want to look good. So I kind of merge the two. But I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I should say this too. I specialize in branding shoots. So those professional images that you see on websites, social media, marketing materials, that's what I do. So I partner with different photographers that I work with, and we create that professional, image for these women to showcase themselves.
Very, 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 very essential. And you are
Yes.
killing it. When she walked in this joint, she was on the phone, like boom, boom. I was like, hey.
I did not mean to be on the phone.
No,
Like,
you
I'm
cool.
so sorry.
No, you cool. I was like, I was impressed. She was handling business. I'm like, all right, we got a podcast to do now.
Right,
You know, it's
right.
like, no, I'm kidding. But for perspective though, who out here is doing this? In other words, who do you look up to? Who are your role models? Who are the people that people is like, oh, okay, this is what she does. It makes sense now.
Yeah, so I mean, ironically, I don't look up to a lot of stylists. I look up to a lot of other women who, well, I'm not a serial entrepreneur, but I want to be. But I look up to other women who are serial entrepreneurs, who have multiple businesses, who have kids, who have families, and they don't let that be a crutch for, why they can't do something or why they can't make a deadline or things like that. These women, like the Ronnie Browns, the Jessica Williamses, she's from Baltimore, Ronnie Brown's from DC. All of those women I look up to because they're really doing the damn thing, and they're Black. They have had their struggles, they have had their challenges, and they still are going through it, but
Shout
they're
out,
still pushing forward. Like nothing is stopping them. So, and that's the same for me. Nothing is stopping me. And it's crazy because I always ask myself, like, why am I still doing this? But I really love like doing what I do. And it wasn't always like that. It just recently transitioned into being like that. I love styling, but then when I reached like different points in my life where I wasn't making money, or, people turned me down, or they said they didn't like the way I styled, I took a step back. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But then when I took a step back, people will constantly reach out to me like, hey, I want you to style me, or hey, I know this client who might need your help. I'm like, okay, God, you telling me that I should be doing this. So I'm gonna keep going.
Hey.
I'm gonna keep going.
Shout out to Oluwa. Yes. So listen, for I want to ask this: why does appearance matter as far as like clothes and things like that? My jump question: look the part. Why does it really matter what I look like if I'm an entrepreneur or a woman?
Yeah, I mean, appearance is everything. And not to sound so judgmental, but I mean, we're all about judging people. I know as soon as I walk in, I look at everybody what they're wearing,
We do it,
and
yeah.
of course, I'm not gonna.
How
I
I
don't
look, you know what I'm
always
saying?
think
You know, I
bad.
got-
You look cool.
Hey,
you look
thank
real
you.
cool.
Thank you.
You look cool. But I
something
mean,
something like.
right. But no, I mean, I feel like I don't judge people, but a lot of people do. And sometimes they do it unintentionally. They don't really mean to do that. But when you look at someone, you look at their full outfit, and it kind of, you kind of judge a book by its cover. You assume that certain people are of a certain caliber by the way that they're dressed. So I think it's important to always look your best, especially if you're a business owner, because you're representing your business. Like you want people to feel, secure. Like if you walk into somewhere with a suit, shiny shoes, your hair is done, your nails are done, all of that, I want to work with you. But if you walk in, a business meeting and you have sweats, and not to pick on homeboy over here, but a dude rag, I don't want to work with him. Like, who is that? Who is that? So, I mean,
Hey, that's my man Alex.
yeah,
man.
I love the purple though.
It's
Like, that's real nice. But I mean, it's all about your appearance, but a lot of people think that's just the only thing. Like, okay, you can look nice, but you still have to have a brand and a business that reflects that. Like people come out here and they have 1,000 followers, they have nice images, they have, the Louis bags and all of that stuff. And then you email them to work with them and they don't respond. Or you call them to inquire and they're rude. It's like, okay, that don't add up. So, I mean, I try my best to kind of coincide those two things, your brand and the way you look, your appearance. They're all one thing to me. Because how can you look a certain way and then your business acts of another way? It doesn't work.
Better not wear no sweats around Christian.
You can wear a sweat, y'all. Y'all wear sweats.
I'm kidding. What do you say though to something like the Mark Zuckerbergs? I know they're grand, they're big, they didn't establish, but he's made a brand of the the gray shirt and tennis shoes. What do you say
IT
to
guy.
people like that who IT guy who just brand like that? Just like, yeah, I want to keep it low key.
Yeah, I mean, he's consistent. So, and he's also been in the game for years. He has the
Facts.
resume. So, he can do that, I feel like. And he's a guy. I feel like being a woman is a totally different, not to pull the gender card or anything, but as a woman, as a black woman, we have to work 10 times harder. So we have to look nice. We have to have on a suit, even though everybody else is in sweats. We got to speak up, even though everybody else is being quiet. Because we have to be known for what we do. We have to, like, not be afraid to step out, but also know what we're talking about, too. We can't just
That's
be, like,
key.
saying anything, and looking any way. We have to represent who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Like today at the Sisternomics event. Shout out to the National Women's Association of 100 Black Women. Shout out to them, the DC chapter. They had their first event today. I went by myself. I was a little nervous, but I knew that I had to leave early to come and meet you guys.
Thank you.
So one of the last workshops, it started at maybe 11:30. I knew I had to leave at 12:30, but it didn't actually get started till 12. So I took it upon myself as a black, confident woman that I am, and went up to the panelists before that portion started and introduced myself. Nobody else did that. Nobody else thought to do that, but I did that because one, I knew I had to leave early, and two, if I wouldn't have done that, I probably would have never got their information.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to go the extra mile. We have to push ourselves even harder because we are who we are, and there's nothing we can do about it. But I mean, it helps me. Like, okay, if I gotta do something extra, that's fine as long as it gets me in a room with the right people.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Man, listen, that's a perfect segue to my next question. A lot of people, start business are broke. Nah, man, it's like I don't really got the cash or the capital to, all I got right now is just invest in the business. I don't really got a lot to, put in, how I look. So how do you cater to those clients or people?
Okay, so
Because entrepreneurship it's hard. It's hot out here.
So to start off, I don't have all this money either. I left my job last August 15th, 2018 was my last day at my retail job. I didn't plan it. I left because I felt like it. They were getting on my nerves, and that's not a good reason, but they were getting on my nerves, and they weren't giving me the days off that I requested off. Mind you, I haven't requested off any
She said,
days
"Yeah, give me days
previous
off.
to
I'm
that.
out."
So I'm like, I deserve my days off. They didn't give it to me, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just leave. But I haven't been full-time entrepreneur for that long, so I'm still trying to figure things out. Still trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. But I said all of that to say what? I forgot the question.
Entrepreneur.
I'm still broke. So I still live at home. I'm still having my parents help me with certain things. I'm still learning on how I can finance my business because as black families, we don't always fully prepare for generational wealth. We don't invest in ourselves like we should because it's a snowball effect. Our parents didn't, their parents didn't, their parents didn't. So it's like we don't really have anything to pull from, anything to grow from. So I'm learning how to apply for grants, and I'm learning how to go to banks and ask for loans. Hopefully not, but I mean, if I need to, I will. But just learning how to leverage what I have now, shopping at thrift stores when I need to, asking people for money to sponsor when I need to. And just using that money to invest back into my business. So just trying to be smart about it. And as far as those people who do want my help that can't afford my services, I'm learning now that everybody's not going to be my client. So my particular client is someone who can afford my services. So there was a point in time where I was working and servicing people who couldn't technically afford my services. I was lowering my rate, giving them discounts and things. But at that point in time, those types of clients are clients that give you the most headache or work you to the bone. It's like, you're not even paying me that much and you want me to do what? That's way more than what I promised you.
Thanks.
So you got to be careful with who you work with. And sorry to say for those people who can't afford my services. I mean, I personally feel like my services are cheap. So if you can't afford them, that's a whole different story. But I try to only service people who can afford them. Of course, I give back when I can. So, I'll do free speaking engagements or, free workshops for kids or the homeless or things like that. I'll pick what I want to do as far as complimentary things, but I don't give stuff away for free. I try not to.
Don't do it.
But I do, help women who can't afford. I'm gonna still give you feedback and help you as much as I can, up until a certain extent. I can't give you everything. So
Appreciate you coming here for free.
yes,
We
of
don't pay
course.
any guests. Don't
No, I
think we
don't
pay.
blame
You
you.
pay. It's like
This
that.
is a conversation.
Yeah,
So
man. You just glossed over, that part about quitting a job. A lot of people are stuck, between the full time and the hustle. And
yeah.
stuck in the middle. We focus on, entrepreneurs from African descent who have, the minds back home. The idea of being stuck in the middle, you can put in different categories. But what was that decision like? Speak to the person who is there right now for you and they grind to get you to where you are right now.
So I feel like entrepreneurship is trendy right now, and everybody just wants to leave because everybody else is doing it. And I feel like my generation, I was born in '94, so I think the generation that I'm in, the highest age is I think 35, if I'm not mistaken. So between the age of like maybe like 18 and 35 is that generation that we're in right now. And I feel like we're kind of stuck in the middle because the people that are, or the kids that are coming up now, all they had was technology. All they have is the internet. All they have is whatever. And then the people in front of us, our parents, they ain't have none of that. They just catching on. And us, we had both. So it's like, what are we supposed to do? It's like, do we listen to our parents and stay at our jobs, or do we listen to the kids coming up behind us like, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna own my own business? Like, we're literally stuck in the middle.
Facts.
Like, I was thinking about that earlier. Like, what can I talk about? That, like, I was definitely hesitant on leaving my job. I didn't plan. I didn't have all this money saved up. But with my mentality of just my love for entrepreneurship and my work ethic and me knowing that I know what I'm doing or knowing what I want to do pushed me to leave. And a lot of people don't have that motivation, and it's perfectly fine. If you're not ready to leave your job, don't leave. Like, a lot of these people, or a lot of people our age, I'm 25, they have these amazing jobs that have benefits, 401k, all that stuff, and they're getting paid like $80,000 a year and up. I was never making that much money. I was working in retail. The job, like the biggest or the most expensive job that paid me the most, I guess, that I had was a stylish job for a trunk club, and that only lasted for 8 months. I wasn't making that much money there, and it was commission. So it's like, I've never had like I guess a real 9 to 5. So I haven't really experienced that yet. So I guess I don't really know what I'm missing. But also, I've had multiple types of jobs, and I was never there for more than 3 years because I got bored. That's just my mentality. Everybody's different. Nobody told me to leave my job. I wasn't looking at everybody else like, oh, I want to leave my job because she left her job. I chose to, but I'm also putting in the work to make this thing work. A lot of people feel like they can leave their jobs and not do anything and just expect people to come to them. A lot of people leave their jobs and they don't even have a business idea even thought of. Like, y'all have to prepare yourself a little bit. Like, you can't just up and leave. I mean, you could do whatever you want to do. God will lead you, but he can only do but so much. Like, I mean, he can do everything. Don't get me wrong, but
Nah, don't be doing some stupid stuff thinking God gonna bail you out.
exactly. But people are doing dumb stuff. Like, okay, I'm not gonna tell you to leave your job if you don't have a business idea. Like, that makes no sense. But if you have a business, you have everything laid out, you know what you want to do, you at least have some type of plan, go, by all means, leave your job.
And it's a struggle. Instead of cut you off, just
you're
my next question. It's a struggle, entrepreneurship. You wrote in one of your blog posts titled "Time for a
my
Change."
blog?
I do my research. Don't come saying that.
You read my book. Okay.
I spent a. So this I almost said that creep stuff I've been saying. I spent a week with you just researching. But,
Oh no, that's important.
it's important you know who you're interviewing. You know what I mean? But you said in that joint in Time for a Change in one of your blog posts, go check it out on her website, sophisticated chic Bran, I believe .com.
Yes.
That you felt stuck and everybody else around you was moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Speak about that time in your life and how you prepare yourself to move.
Yeah, so I mean, I went to a HBCU, graduated in 4.5 years. I had to stay an extra semester longer because just some other financial things, and I feel like some HBCUs set you up for failure, but it's a little bit of our fault too. But that's a whole nother podcast. But I left school, and everybody that I went to school with, for the most part, were in organizations. They were very acclimated to just being in everything, out and about, really giving back to their communities and really making a difference on campus. All of those people, they graduated with full-time jobs, making all this money from Microsoft, all those other amazing jobs. Like, they had those jobs and I didn't. And I'm like, we had the same classes, we graduated in the same year, and how you get a job and Like, I'm just sitting here. I mean, I had a job, but it didn't last long. It was 8 minutes. I mean, 8 months.
Sorry.
Felt like 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
8 months, like I said.
Paycheck
So
two
I'm like,
cents.
dang. And they let me go. It was a sales based job. We had rigorous sales goals that we had to meet every month. And it was 1 month. I did not reach them. And they let me go. I cried my eyes out because I'm like, this is my first full time job. And y'all are letting me go. Like, because I didn't make enough money for y'all. That's why y'all letting me go. Literally, you can count the black people there on your hand. It was barely any black people there, but I was doing what I loved. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stick it out. I was commuting from DC to Baltimore, like, or from Baltimore to DC every morning. I left my house maybe at 5, earlier than 5, probably 5 o'clock. Didn't get home till like 6, almost 7, because of the commute. I was working my butt off, thinking I was doing something, and y'all gonna up and fire me. So it's like watching everybody who I graduated with have full-time jobs. And then me, I'm losing my job, and I'm
In your
really
mind.
in my mind, and I'm working, like I'm working and I'm tired, and y'all are just gonna like fire me like this. Like, what? So that's where the point in time where, to answer your question, that's where I felt like, dang. So, I mean, I've had multiple jobs after that I loved up until a certain extent, until I got bored. Then I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I think I want to work for myself.
What are
I've
some,
learned so much from all of those jobs, though.
yeah. What are some of the joys of being an entrepreneur? Of owning this baby, sophisticated chic brand.
Yeah, so creating like something that just creating something, that's a joy. Like creating something that people will love and that people will eventually want to invest in. Like, I can't believe I can make somebody pay me to do what I like to do. Like, it's still like, it's crazy in my mind. Like, dang. But like, just learning how to maneuver in the world as an entrepreneur is just ridiculous. It's a learning experience within itself, and it's not going to be easy. It still isn't easy. But it's just, to me, it's fun. Like, all right, that didn't work. Now I'm mad. Now I'm over it. Now I need to figure out what my next steps are. Like, it's just a process. It's an emotional process that we have to go through. And it sometimes takes a toll on your body. Like, a lot of us don't know about self-care. They in this
Yeah.
generation,
How do you prevent against burnout?
yeah. In this generation, everybody thinks you need to keep grinding, keep grinding. I go to sleep. The latest I stay up is like 2, and that's not even like an everyday thing. I make sure I go to bed at least by 12 at the latest,
That's
sometimes
late.
almost 1, and I'll wake up at like 7:30, like barely opening my eyes, wanting to cry, but I wake up and I say my prayers. I actually have a routine. So I wake up, read my devotional, write in my journal, brush my teeth, do whatever I gotta do, and then I start working. Or I'll go to the gym and then I come home and start working. So it's important to have like a routine, like it's a 9 to 5. I treat my job like it's a 9 to 5. Sometimes I'll have my availability, all the way up until 6:30, but I choose to do that. So, I mean, that's one thing that I love. I'm able to make my own schedule for the
Facts.
most part. But in the beginning, you kind of have to like be open to things because you need the money and you need the experience. So,
Yeah. What are some life lessons that have shaped the person that you are today?
life lessons. So one of them is that you cannot do everything on your own, and you need help. You need people to help you. But
That
you
you
need
mentioned
the
earlier,
right
you're
people.
not a naturally,
I'm not a people person, but naturally, but I force myself to be, and I pray to God that He makes me a people person because I have to be. But yeah, like I do not like people like that because a lot of people, they get on your nerves, they don't do what you ask them to do. They don't, you have to hold them accountable to do a task and they don't complete it. That's like terrible because this is your business, this is your baby, and they don't care as much as you do. So just learning like who to trust, who to work with, doing your research like you did and figuring out who these people are that either want to work with you or that you want to work with, and make sure that they align with what you're trying to do, because everybody's not your client, everybody's not somebody that you should be working with. So you just have to figure that out on your own. And that was definitely a lesson that I learned. Any other lessons? Save your money.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how do you pay yourself, but I'm not gonna dig in your back. I'm just gonna ask
It's
what's
all
your
good.
50 30 20 rule?
Still trying to figure that out. I actually do not pay myself just yet, but I did invest in a business coach to kind of teach me, like, okay. So she actually taught me, a shameless plug, she actually taught me that, you can give yourself 10%. every month. So she's actually an employee of her business. I'm like, I didn't know you can be that.
Yeah.
Something that you learn every day.
Right.
So she said that she filled out a W-2, as an employee. And she says that she says that she pays herself once a month, 10% of her full income, or however often you want to pay yourself. So now I think I want to do that. If you made $50 in May, you pay yourself $5. Like, as simple as that. It's not a lot, but you're getting in the habit of paying yourself. So I'm definitely starting that soon, so that I can actually pay myself and, make sure that I'm paying myself the right amount and things like that. It's a lot to think about, though. So it's kind of scary.
Yeah. Where do you see sophisticated chic Bran in 3 years, 5 years? As we round up.
3 years. I definitely want to have a list of retainer clients who come back to me consistently and constantly, so that I'm actually able to live off this, and not just say that I'm a business owner. And 5 years, I want to have a location. So I want to have an office space, where I can actually meet my clients there. I can house inventory so that I can dress them, and get them prepared for the events that they have, or speaking engagements, or whatever they have coming up. I want to be able to offer them everything. Maybe even have like a photo shoot section there where I can take their pictures there. I just thought of that. I never even thought of that before. But that's a good idea. I have a studio, in there as well. So that I can do what I do for them, and then have them just, come, and I can be a one-stop shop. So that would be awesome. But
now you can come back and update us, man.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, listen, we have come to a part of this podcast. Yeah, I appreciate you, like coming through first of all. But we have come to this part. I don't know if you're ready for this. It's called rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Where I would try my best to read these questions. There are 8 of them, fast as I can, and you're gonna answer them in one word. You ready?
Okay.
You ready?
I think so.
All right. Favorite clothes for a picture.
Favorite clothes for a picture.
Yeah.
Theory. That's a nice brand, designer brand. So I guess Theory.
Show teeth when you smile for a picture or no teeth.
Show teeth.
Your favorite thing in your closet right now.
Blazer. My red blazer.
If you weren't in the styling industry, what would it be?
An event planner.
Any tattoos?
No, not yet.
What actress would you have star in a movie about your life?
Dang. Everybody says I look like that girl off of Lincoln Heights. I don't even know her real name. I think it's like Ryan or something.
I forgot that.
She's not that big of a celebrity, but she's cute, so I guess her.
All right. Best gift you've ever received?
An Apple Watch.
Hey, shout out to whoever got you that junk.
My parents.
Favorite Bible quote or Bible verse?
I'm still trying to memorize the Bible. Oh, but there's
the
one.
Whole thing?
Not the whole thing,
okay,
but
right.
So I can quote stuff to people as I see fit. But I don't even know the verse, but it's basically saying, do not look at what's happening currently and use that to kind of, I guess, talk about your future. Basically saying that.
1 Corinthians 4.
Maybe.
Yep.
What is it? Can you cite it?
I just know it's 1 Corinthians 4.
Basically talking about, your life may look a certain way now, but you never know what can
like
happen.
Yep.
Yeah, you never know.
Hey, listen, man, we have had the pleasure of speaking with Christen Johnson.
Yes.
She is the CEO, founder of Sophisticated Chic Brand, a personal brand stylist, content creator, and blogger. Appreciate you coming through, kicking it with us, yo.
Thank you. This
has
was
been
fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, listen, if you enjoyed what you listened or watched, hit that subscribe button. We are a weekly podcast. We host conversations with entrepreneurs, who are from the African descent, just about the struggles and everything that they got going through. And also, Couch Talk is popping, man. Subscribe to YouTube. Again, this episode has been sponsored by Perfect Office Solution, providing affordable, professional, flexible office space with DMV entrepreneurs. So hit them up, let them know we sent you. Get 10% off if you use SIT and podcast. That's the promo code. Appreciate you coming through, Christen Johnson. Shout out to AK. Come back in one piece. Don't do too much turn up. And we will see y'all next week. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Hey, the Stuck in the Middle podcast. We out.